Welcome to my unboxing of the Kodak PixPro SP360 4K. Yeah, they really went to town with that name. So we're going to be looking at the dual pack that you can get that enables you to put two cameras back to back, gives you the full 360 rather than just kind of a half view. So mine came in this handy little box, keeping the two together, but as you can see, the delivery guy seems to have really been practicing his throwing arm with my package. So it's not in the best of states, but hey, it's only a box. I don't know if that's sacrilege, but inside we get two smaller boxes, and this will continue for some time. No, it is not a Russian doll-like situation. There are two main boxes. One includes the 4K accessory pack, and one includes the cameras themselves, the dual Pro Pack as they call it. So I have opened this briefly. I will continue to do so, but I took away all the polythene bags because frankly they're the bane of my life. But it kind of gives you some reassurance that people haven't already been inside. But then looking at that box, I'm not entirely sure. It looks a little bit like a return to me. I hope that's not the case. Anyway, so inside you get this rather rudimentary covering. You get a bunch of little pieces of paper that seem to bear no real connection. The warranty cards are standard. One that just says don't return it before contacting JK Imaging, so I assume they're expecting a lot of people not to be able to understand how to use this. There's a overview which, I mean, it's the size of a beer mat, which, so, I mean, it's just, I don't know why they even bother with that. The one thing I would say is that the only guide it comes with is a quick start guide, which frankly, having looked at this, didn't answer a bunch of my questions. So I actually went online, downloaded the PDF manual that I may be wrong, but I couldn't see any reference to here. I just assumed there would be one, and that was a hell of a lot more useful. So unfortunately, you know, when you get a nice DSLR, you get a gigantic thick book with it generally, and this, you get a few bits of paper. For your 900 bucks is pretty poor, but I mean, at the end of the day, after the initial opening, you're not really gonna care. So you get this tiny battery charger, which is nice, but you only get one, which is a bit of a pain as you get two batteries. So unless you're gonna buy an additional one, then you can double the charging time you're going to require to get this up and running. One thing worth mentioning is that I've had these charging for about 3 hours. I went online and discovered that there's a 4-hour charge from start. I read somewhere else that it was more like a 1 to 2 hour charge in normal use, so we'll see. But the first charge, 4 hours each. You get your little cable, which is going to connect it to your charger. Yes, that is a US charger. Despite the accent, I am based in the States. You also get this is quite nice, little PixPro carry case, which if this was a Sony product, I feel like you'd be paying 60 or 70 bucks just to get hold of, 50 pounds. And then you get these bad boys. So let's put these down here. In fact, it's a pretty neat trick having a glass table because you can keep everything underneath it and you guys can still see it. Genius. Anyway, so you get these two cameras. These are going to connect back to back ultimately, but a couple of notes just from my initial inspection. Again, there is no mention of this in any kind of guide that you get with it, so good luck. But essentially you get, apart from the nice cleaning case, which I could probably do with putting on my actual glass table itself, you get, each camera has a ring which is incredibly tightly screwed on, so I started to worry that I was going to break it by twisting, but you basically take the ring off, and for those of you who have an interest in keeping these lovely little sphere lenses intact and in good nick, you can actually screw this top onto it. It's a protector. Well, I say you can, I clearly can't. And that'll give you some protection. These are splash proof, the cameras by design. But I guess if you're going to be using this in any kind of day-to-day situation, it's going to be useful to put the little lens covers on. Now, interestingly, you get 3. So I don't know whether there is, I mean, I shouldn't think this way, but there's a design flaw and they're expecting them to crack, or if they're just expecting that all of us are fairly clumsy and expecting to scratch one from the start. But you get 3. You get 1 just out of the case, and you get the others you may have seen me playing with in a nice little carry case. Almost looks like somewhere you'd keep your pogs. But yeah, you get these little covers, and you get the incredibly tightly packed in. Here's my extra lens that I haven't touched yet. And then you get these covers that sit over the top, and it says, when you're not using for a long time, place these over the top. And that's what you get inside your dual pack. These nice little discs, little lens protectors, and then you've got 2, God knows what we're going to do with these, but these 2 little ring covers, maybe someone can tell me. And again, this nice case. So yeah, an extra lens, you can't complain there, and a nice carry case, again, and a few carry cases. Again, it is $900 rather, but at least you're getting a decent amount of kit. And on that note, the additional kit that you're going to get, we have a remote control, which I should probably take out of packaging actually. So yeah, so much for not having any polythene bags. This nice remote control that can be used to, surprisingly, control your cameras remotely, which I actually discovered doubles up as a pretty neat wristwatch. You also have a bunch of supports and stands. You've got one that is going to get you in trouble with any mates who have some self-respect and don't want to be seen with you. You have a selfie stick looking camera, but actually in the days of 360 recording, the telescopic selfie stick is actually going to be quite a nice tool to have, to just hold that above your head and ensure that you don't look like some sort of distorted wizard below the camera. So yes, it's actually a pretty thick, nicely put together piece of kit, as all of this really seems to be the case. I have a GoPro, God, it's a 3, so it's getting a bit old these days, but when I got that, I ended up getting one of these kind of knockoff accessory kits that came with it for like $50. And while they're all fine, it just annoyed me seeing the GoPro accessories that cost so much more. But I mean, if we look at this, you know, you've actually got metal, actual metal, which is almost unheard of when it comes to freebies. So, you know, there's some decent kit here. So I'm going to list the exact accessories you get. I'm going to continue unboxing these, which is probably something that I will speed up. Yeah, I mean, what are there? There's 7 different accessories that you get with this. I'm going to be trying these all out, including a few extra ones. I'm not paying for any additional. I'm going to stick with the ones, but this looks like the kit that actually holds the 2 cameras together. You can see they've got the screws at the bottom that will connect to your camera, and the final one, I mean, I'm just trying to guess what tiny bits of plastic that roughly resemble useful brackets are, but you've got different bits of kit that will hold it and secure it and do all kinds of other things that are moderately useful. A second note is that, and this is something you probably don't want to lose, so I'm not going to unbox these, but a second thing worthy of note is that you don't get any memory cards with these. I bought 2 relatively cheap Amazon U3 memory cards. The documents online basically suggest that you need at least a class 10/UH or U1 to capture the footage, but as this claims to be 4K and is, I've made sure I got U3, which apparently is best for the 4K situation. So the only thing left to do is to actually look at the camera close up. Actually really nicely made. You'll note the NFC note on the side. It trumpets the fact that Android works with NFC and the Wi-Fi option. iPhone will only work with the Wi-Fi option, but again, that's noted. The little connector at the side. If you wedge it up, it's going to show you space for the memory card that I mentioned you have to buy separately, a little mini HDMI and a micro USB as well. It's got the connector so you can screw it to any kind of standard connection. It's got the mics there as well. And then finally, other than the screen, which I didn't mention earlier and really should have done, it also has the ability to access the battery pack. So if I can remember how to do this, it's a slide down and then you can open that up. One thing worth mentioning is that you don't want to pull this piece of plastic that looks like it's designed for pulling. That's actually designed to pull the battery out. So yeah, just be aware of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go and test this out. I've got a Pacific Coast Highway trip to take it on. And yes, you will see the results of that coming relatively shortly. Thanks for watching.